In the next few minutes, we're going to catch up with what's been happening in the world of Bitcoin and some of the big levels to watch in the days ahead. Hello, I'm David Jones. This is the weekly video I do with Trading 212. It's our update on what's been happening with Bitcoin. Let's just talk about some of the news in recent days. I think the news has been, on balance, pretty positive. We've seen, I think, increased demand from South Korea for cryptocurrencies. This was following some regulations that were put in place a few weeks ago that did have maybe some people worried it could restrict demand, but there's been strong demand apparently there. We've also seen in the US calls for regulation of the whole cryptocurrency space. And whilst again, that could be a concern in terms of stopping people accessing this, I suppose one way of looking at it is it does help, I think, further legitimize these alternative assets. Probably the only negative we had is from the governor of the Bank of England, Mark Carney. He came out this week, I think, in a talk at a university saying that it's failed, Bitcoin has failed as a currency because it's not a store of value and the price is all over the place, as we know. But on balance, I think the news has been positive and we have seen the price over the last week and a half move higher. But it's left us in an interesting place. So let's take a look at the charts. Let's have a look at the charts of Bitcoin and the levels to watch out for. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart. You can see we've had quite the move since the lows, the 5th of February lows, around about the 6,000 mark. At the time of recording, trading up 11,600, that sort of area. So it's a strong rally. However, let's still be a little bit cautious. The trend from the highs, the 16th of December highs, is still intact. So we've got a 2-month downtrend going on. All the way through this, we have had rallies. Like any other market, of course, you get moves against the trend. So it's going to be interesting to watch, I think, the next couple of days. We're going to look at this trend in a bit more detail in a minute. But the really big levels to watch, these highs, first of all, 27th of Jan highs, 12,000, near enough. So 12,000 is the next immediate barrier. After that, the highs up, well, just actually shy of 13,000. The market got to 12,943 on the 19th of Jan. So if it's going to run out of steam, we are getting close to the area where we could well see some sellers coming back in. Down here on the RSI, we've gone overbought. It doesn't mean too much, I think, because of the volatility that we see in these cryptocurrencies. Look back here, it can, if we have a really strong move, it can stay overbought for a long time. So for me, it's more about these price levels. So from 12,000 to 13,000, near enough, that's the area to look at. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. So here's the move right off those lows, the 6th of February. So a couple of weeks ago now. Went sideways for a little bit, then started moving again from the 11th. And it's still strong. At the time of recording, in the last hour or so, it had made a fresh high for that move. So this is a market that is still strong. At the moment, from a short-term point of view, arguably, we still want to be a buyer on weakness, but just aware of these big levels running from 12,000 that have been a barrier over recent weeks. So at the moment, it looks like there's a bit more left. If we sold off back to the low 10,000s, looks like a buying opportunity, expecting these old levels to hold, the 10,000, 9,600 level. So short term, potential for a squeeze a bit higher. But just to remind us on the daily chart, the jury is maybe still out because this trend is still down until we see these big levels broken. I do think it's going to be an interesting couple of days because we are now back bumping up nearly against this downtrend line. Compare that to the video on Ethereum, because Ethereum has already the last couple of days started backing away from that downtrend line. So some really big levels to watch for Bitcoin. That recovery is still intact, but so is that downtrend from just before Christmas. So at some point, something's got to give. So an interesting market to watch, I think, in the next few days. We'll start wrapping things up there, but as usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave us a message in those comments down below. If you like the video, click on the thumbs up, and to never miss out on any of the content we upload during the week. There's a whole host of stuff, euro, gold, oil, trading strategies, all of this. Just make sure you're subscribed by clicking the subscribe button there, and if you click the alarm bell notification thing down there, you get notified every time we upload a video. But for this week, from me, David Jones and Trading 212, we'll leave it there, and I hope you have a good trading week.